Hello, everybody. In case you didn't hear that, hello, everybody. Alright, so I'm basically just going to, in this video, I'm going to get to some of the things that I promised in my last videos. One of being, just going to do a quick rundown of the exploding head syndrome, which I found out later was actually a medical term called, or a scientific term called exploding head. When I was going through these things back in 2015 from March to the greater part of November. In between there was a point, I want to say June, around June. For a while I had been feeling like these cyclones around me. This feeling of there was a tornado or something, a whirlpool or something above me. And I had, at the time, no discernment, but later on, more close to now, I've had a lot of discernment that there was actually two separate ones that had come in with this swirling, like, cyclone, like, tornado, whirlpool type of thing. The very first one, I was having a lot of specific things happen, and it didn't feel very good. The second one, I think, was a brief, just for a moment, just to kind of come in and grab me from the first one in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but as time goes on, maybe I'll be able to discern more my visions for people. This is the first time I'm actually making videos and presenting it to thousands of millions of people worldly to try and make their best out of what I'm saying to those that have experienced. But this one I feel was either the end tail of the first one or the beginning of another one, where basically after going through this for a couple of months, maybe it was just a few weeks for all I know, because it was hitting really hard and my time was all kind of messed up, and we're going to get into that into this video. But in any case, basically there was a day that I had on what was a necklace, tied on a black string. Originally I had taken what was a yin and yang sign and a crystal off of this black string necklace thing. And I tied onto it two medals that my great-grandmother on my father's side had given to me. And the two medals were one of the classic Jesus, where he has the burning heart, the ever-burning heart or love of Jesus. And, you know, that long hair depicted in like almost every picture there ever was of Jesus. And the second one was actually a heart medal with the Mother Mary and Joseph with the baby Jesus, and they were both on this. And I had been day and night continuing since this had begun, which I later learned was probably not the best thing, because in a way it was kind of praying on a false idol, although it was not my intent, because I knew not to pray on false idols. But I could see how in a way it was doing just that, but I just kept holding it in my hand around my neck. And even there was TV shows and everything. I watched some movie on Sci-Fi or something that had something to do with Vikings or whatever. I wish I could figure out what the name of the movie had been, and to see if this was actually part of the movie or if it was just something that changed into my reality at that time. But they actually turned around and said to the one person who had gone through this Viking had dived into this like ocean, went like, you know, with the ferryman across, and he went down to see his dad or whatever, and he came back up. But that's just some details of the movie. But in any case, I know that at some point in that movie they had literally specifically said, give to us the necklace of Mary Magdalene. And at that time I was almost convinced. I'm like, am I a reincarnation of Mary Magdalene, who I have my own beliefs about her and Jesus and the love that they shared? Or, you know, like, are they specifically trying to get at me because of my belief? Like, what exactly is happening? There's so many things that happen. For months prior to all these visions, my daughter had kept saying, happy birthday, and Bob, Bob, Bob. And then, like, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, like all these crazy things started hitting me, like, all right, for one, happy birthday. There was a night in the beginning of all this when all of a sudden on TV, I think it was at that time, it was ABC Family, now it's Freeform, had come on the Snow White movie that they had with Julia Roberts. I forget what exactly Mirror Mirror, I think it was called. It was Julia Roberts, and I know that it's, and this is kind of weird, Genesis, the group Genesis, Phil Collins, his daughter Lily Collins played Snow White. And I remember specifically, this came on TV, and Julia Roberts, she was like looking down at the girl and talking about, oh, I know it's your birthday, but just because it's your birthday, don't come in here or whatever. But instead of that vision, because I'd seen the movie several times before that, my kids were younger at the time, granted, but I do like the movie. Kids or not, I'd watch it. But she turned her head at me and looked directly out of the TV and stated, just because it is your 100th year birthday, don't think that you can sneak past the veils. Don't ever do it again. That's what came out of this woman's mouth to me in, like, crazy form. Like, I really, like I said, I really believe that I hit a point of schizophrenia back then. In any case, that's just some of it. What the point of this is those tornado things that I felt going over me. After holding this necklace every day and night, and I kept saying the Our Father prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. I kept repeating that over and over and over, day in and day out, for I don't know how long, but it seemed like a few months, when one morning I was trying to go to sleep after all this torment, and I was holding on to this necklace with the metals, and I just kept saying it, and I had light in my, like, when I closed my eyes, I envisioned, like, there was light, but then all of the light, there was darkness starting to come in, and the light was going into what was like a pinhole. Like, darkness was coming in, and I just felt like, oh, in my mind, I was feeling like I'm really about to just really fall asleep, finally, like, asleep. The light is going out, asleep. And that didn't dawn on me later until what exactly that might have meant, like, asleep, like death. When, at the moment that it reached, like, a little tiny pinpoint of light was still, like, evident to me in my mind, and I felt like I'm just finally going to fall asleep, rest after all this. Like, I was just feeling really relieved, despite the fact that it might not have been really relieved. What I might have been going into might have been far worse, but I was feeling some kind of relief because I was just, like, letting go, and just finally sleep was coming. All of a sudden, I seen that pinpoint of light explode into the brightest, whitest form of light, and I heard what sounded like a light bulb pop in my head, as if when you go to turn on a light and you all of a sudden see that, like, when you light up a light bulb, you see how the light gets lit and the room is bright, but when you go to light up a light bulb and it's about to pop and you light it for that first time, it's like all the energy just hits it at once, and then it's push. That's exactly what took place in my head, with the sounds and everything. And at the same exact moment that happened, my entire body, from laying on the pillows, ricocheted upwards into a sitting position. Well, my entire upper half, because my legs were straight before me. And at the same time, I felt what felt like a tornado spiraling around me. And I almost envisioned somebody on something like a hoverboard or a surfboard. Although, I mean, I didn't see it clearly, but I had this vision like someone surfing through it on this tiny board, and I heard what was the sound of a snap of fingers, just like this, and then a voice go, "God's not done with you yet," and my body relaxed and fell backwards, back onto the pillows, and I was like, what was that? And then 2 seconds later, my boyfriend came in the room. At this time, he was supposed to have gone to work, because this was early in the morning. He was supposed to go to work that day. He was doing work at 8 o'clock, so usually he left the house around 7:20 every morning to go pick up his boss, grab coffee, head out to work. this particular morning he wasn't going to work. He was going to pick up his boss, drop him off at work, and then he had a ticket for like tint or something on his windows. He went and took care of that, and then for whatever reason he stopped back at the house before he was going to go back to work for the day. And when he came in, it was just a few minutes later, and he was like, "Are you okay?" This, that, and the other thing. And he sat on the edge of the bed next to me, and he was like he wasn't snapping his fingers, but it almost was like he was, in my mind, I had a brief vision of him snapping his fingers, like, "Come to, I'm trying to tell you something." Like, almost like he knew what I was going through. It was really weird. But, in any case, he sat on the edge of the bed, and I was like, "What happened in court?" And he showed me this paper, and this was literally within 5 minutes of what I had just experienced. And he was like, "This is what they said," or whatever. And then he goes, "Do you see what it says here?" And he was pointing, and I was like, "Huh?" And he was pointing to the top of the paper. And the top of the paper was saying, "Town of Thompson Court." Later on, I got some clarification on things that had to do with that and what might have been messing with me. I don't know. But I just wanted to explain what that episode was like, because I promised I would. I see that it's getting dark here in my video. I don't know how to turn on the light in the video. So I'm going to cut this one, and if I can figure out how to put the light on, I'll continue to make a few more videos. As you guys can see, look at the beautiful moon behind me. It's great because this past winter, 2018, from February and March and some of April, that moon was not showing. There was no moon in the skies above me. I'm located, I'll just give you a tri-state configuration: New York, Pennsylvania, and Jersey. I have lived in 2 of those states and currently am living in 1. I don't want to give away my precise location. Not that it really matters to me, but just some people said that's not wise. But at this point, I kind of feel like I've been stalked by... I've even read up on stuff that talks about what I'm experiencing might be considered by those more knowledgeable than me as signs of classic gang stalking syndrome. But whatever the case, I figure I don't need to have any other people stalking me at this point. But look at that beautiful moon tonight. Looks wonderful, being as I haven't seen it recently. Not because I think it was missing, but because I've been in the house. But I will say that between the months of February and mid-April, I was not seeing a moon. I even told several people that were close to me, "Look, they stole the moon. Where's the moon? How come the moon is not out ever, ever, ever?" That's all them chemtrails and all that shit they're putting in the sky. They're messing with things. I'm not exactly sure how or what the exact reasons are, but I have theories and some visions. Alright guys, out for now. Bye.